Numbers are in for the Midsummer Arts Faire in Quincy, and they are great. In fact, organizers say they returned to pre-pandemic levels, including those attending the Blues in the District. They say more than 3,000 people stopped by over the weekend. And even though organizers had to cancel the street festival on Saturday, they say several of the 50 art vendors were quite successful with selling their wares.
So I think the artists were successful this year, and each one has a different idea of success, so that can be in the hundreds or even range up to the thousands depending upon their price of artwork.
And officials say they hope to see even more artist vendors next year.